Right, this is Dan Meehan from MMA Manifesto, and we're doing a series of Where Are They Now features. And today, the Gladiator is here. We have the Ultimate Fighter Season 3 veteran, Ross Pointon, in the proverbial house. So, Ross, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, very, very good. Thanks for stopping
Yeah,
by.
good stuff, man. It's a
Um,
pleasure.
sorry, mate.
Said it's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, man.
um, so, could we start? Could you just tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into martial arts and MMA?
Well, my name is Ross Pointon. Um, I'm from Stoke-on-Trent. I'm 43 years of age now. Got into mixed martial arts ooh, back in 99, early 2000. Been doing martial arts most of my life from the age of 5. Um, yeah.
See, sounds good, good. And yeah, from there, you found yourself on the Ultimate Fighter Season 3. Um,
Season. Yeah,
yeah, it's a long time ago now, back in 2006, I think.
yeah,
Um,
2004 we filmed it though. Yeah,
oh, right,
it
there
was a
you
long
go.
time ago.
Yeah. Could you talk about your experience on the show and training under Ken Shamrock?
Wow, what an experience! Yeah, the guy's a legend. Um, Strange experience. Guy's a legend. Being there with Ken, Tito, all the guys. It was a strange environment to be in, but an amazing environment. A once in a lifetime opportunity that's priceless, you know,
Absolutely. And you
yeah.
found yourself in the middle of a pretty intense feud there with Ken and Tito. What was it like, sort of experiencing all the back and forth between those two firsthand?
Yeah, it was heated at the time, and obviously, being in the mix of that, it's quite, how can I put this, shocking to see that, to see it, and yeah, it's real, and you're not expecting that either, at the time, and yeah, it's just all very out of this world when you're there, it's all very surreal.
Absolutely. And how did you find yourself actually getting onto the show? I've had a couple of Ultimate Fighter uh, veterans on before, and they've had some sort of different stories on how they get involved. How did you sort of find yourself actually getting onto the show?
Oh, I did it onto the show, obviously. I was a fighter before the show, before the Ultimate Fighter. I've been doing martial arts most of my life. I come from a Chinese kickboxing background before, and a boxing striking background. Um, and obviously I was fighting on the circuit, I was one of the guys out there at the beginning, you know. I just fell into it, mate. It wasn't it wasn't something that I planned to do. You know what I mean? To go out and do that. Even though subconsciously I was, because I did it. You manifest it, aren't you? But like, yeah, it all seems surreal. It all seems like a dream now. I can look back at it all and my career, and I can look back at the avenues I've been down and how I got there. And it was a tough journey. It wasn't easy. You know, I come from the bottom, to get to the top. And it was a tough, nitty gritty ride to get there. And to be picked for the Ultimate Fighting. And to be noticed, because that's what it takes to get noticed. To get on the show, you got to be somebody first for them to want you on the show. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, on the show itself, you were sort of portrayed as a guy who had sort of little interest in technique and training, and just kind of wanted to get in the cage and punch on. Really, was how much of that was actually true of sort of who you are and who you were?
Yeah, that's not true at all. I train. Obviously, it came. too soon in my martial arts career. You know, I could have the opportunity now, today. You know, I'm fitter, I'm stronger. You know, I've got more technique. You know, and I've got a lot more. I'm a lot more wiser. Do you know what I mean? You know, which comes with the territory, don't it? You know, the longer you do something, the more you get good at it. You know, but yeah, you know, it's a difficult one, the fight game.
Absolutely. Would you ever go back to fighting, or have you closed that chapter for now?
Retired. You know, I had a bad injury back in 2008, which I struggled with for a while. You know, through training camps, managed to get that sorted. And then I was fine for a while, you know, but my mind wasn't in the right place. You know, there was a lot of other things going on, fighting more for the money, you know, to pay the bills, you know, rather than fighting for the wins. You know, it was more about paying the bills. You know what I mean? And some of them fights really I shouldn't have taken, you know, in my career. You know, but when you got to pay bills and you got a roof to keep over your head and you got to feed yourself and clothe yourself and all the rest of it, and has to be done. You know, you have to keep doing it, don't you? You know, and then obviously gradually through that break and you know, coming away from fighting for a while, I managed to concentrate on my businesses. You know, g5gear.com, gladiatorpromotions.co.uk, which has been going since 2009 when I had the injury and I had to, you know, become a businessman, so to speak. You know, this is a guy that martial arts changed my life. You know what I mean? I went to school, but I I, I didn't do well at school. I'm dyslexic, and back then you were just seen as a problem child. You know, you didn't want to take things in and stuff. And I moved around a lot. You know, moved around a lot, different schools, different neighborhoods. So you're always trying to prove yourself. You know, moving to different cities. Um, so yeah, going to new schools, you have to prove yourself, don't you? You know, you have to, you know, you make new friends, and yeah, I used to get bullied as well from an early age, and I overcome all that. You know what I mean? Um, so it's been a difficult road. You know what I mean? Um, where was we going? I've gone off track there.
I was just asking whether you'd close the door on fighting again, or whether you'd yeah,
No, I've not closed the door on fighting. No,
yeah,
I need somebody to give me the right opportunity. You know what I mean? You know,
right.
when you fought at the top and you've been up there, I suppose you feel like you still need to go back there. You know, I haven't fought now for I think it's 6 years. You know, since my last fight. I fought on Celtic Gladiators in um, Dublin. It was, and I fought for the Celtic Gladiators world title, and I didn't win. You know, that was my last fight. Like I say, I was fighting for the wrong reasons. But I still believed in myself, otherwise I wouldn't have been doing it. But it got to a point where it was all wrong. You know what I mean? And at the time, I believe I was having mental issues. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Um, and I had to come away from it. I had to come away from it all. I stopped fighting. I just come away from all that for a while, and I just concentrated on my businesses, you know, and I got them running right. Like I say, I developed Gladiator Promotions UK, and then obviously I worked on G5 gear as well. I worked on my gym, Gladiator MMA gym as well. So and I've been doing a bit of acting as well, you know. So I've been doing that as well, you know, because obviously you can't keep fighting forever, you know. So it's very similar, the training, you know, the consistency. You know, you got to think on the spot as well, or on the mark. You know what I mean? And you got to be creative as well, which is very similar to fighting. Sounds silly, but um, the groups of people together is similar as well, where you get together and you do things, as a group, like with a mixed martial arts. You get together, you train, you do things as a group, as a team. So it's the same kind of thing, you know what I mean? But I'll be doing that as well. And yeah, you know, I had to concentrate on more things that are going to be more consistent at the end when my body shuts down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's took me a while to do that. And I'll be honest with you, nobody's approached me and said to me, "Do you want to fight?" You know what I mean? For this much, you know what I'm saying? You know, if somebody give me the right opportunity, yeah, I would do it. You know, I miss fighting.
Yeah. I think it's a difficult transition for a lot of people. Yeah,
I was
when the
for a while. I was really lost, you know, and the fighters are out there listening now. You know, you got to find something. You got to find something and start working at it now. And while you're fighting, you know, don't think that fighting's going to be there for you forever. Don't think that it's going to be something. Did you understand what I'm trying to say? If you can try and make it, that's what I tried to do. I got up there, I fought the best. You know, I've fought the best. That's something nobody can take away from me. There's got to be a winner and there's got to be a loser. That's this game. Unfortunately for me, on my record, there was more losses than there was wins. You know what I mean? But if you look at the guys I've battled with and the fights that I've had, I've never gone into a battle and ran away from a battle or a fight. You know what I mean? I've gone in there, chin down. I've got stuck in. You know, and if it hasn't gone my way, it hasn't gone my way, and that's just being the law of the gods. You know what I mean? That's they've got something bigger installed for me. You know, that's how I see it. You know, I wasn't meant to win and be great at that because maybe they want me to be great at something else. You know what I mean? You know, the journey is still happening. You know, it's not over. You
absolutely.
know, and like I said, you know, I'm 43. I was 43 not yesterday, day before, and I feel fit. I feel strong, and with everything that's going on at the moment with COVID, I feel more angry and hungry than ever. I just need somebody give me the right opportunity. You know what I mean? You know, my father's just passed recently with COVID, so that's made me angry with everything that's going on with the COVID situation, the governments and stuff. You know what I mean? It's what to believe, and you know, it's just not, you know, just a lot going on in there. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
that's making me angry a lot. I'm training a lot at the moment, so yeah, it's you know, fighting's not done for me now.
There you go. So any promoters out there, look
And I
out. The
train
gladiator's in training and he's angry. So
every day. I'm training 5, 6 days a week. You know, obviously I'm not training to fight, but I'm training to keep fit. I'm training to fight if somebody comes at me on the streets. You know what I mean? Or get what I'm trying to say. You
yeah,
know, that's always going to be there. That's just something. That's something I did before I got into the UFC. Do you see what I mean? The
yeah,
fighting and the training was there before the UFC. The UFC was just part of the journey. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? The journey of martial arts is martial arts. You know what I mean? I love martial arts. I love mixed martial arts. I love jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? You know, and I love teaching it and passing the knowledge on to people that really want to learn it. Do you know what I mean? You know, obviously I developed my own system as well over the time of being away from fighting, which is Gladiator MMA, you know, which is a combination, obviously, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the Chinese kickboxing, the American kickboxing, the Kung Fu, um, you know, the Western boxing, all the things I've done since the age of 5, all the coaches I've had, all the stuff I've done, I've just mixed it all together. Do you know what I mean? And that's what Gladiator MMA is, because mixed martial arts is everything, and that's what people need to realize. That cage fighting is mixed martial arts. It is a combination of everything, you know, and it's putting it all together, isn't it?
yeah.
And being the best at that. So, you know, yeah, so I've been doing that as well, you know, and just working. You know, I'm always practicing my techniques and training. So yeah,
Right. And how has COVID affected business for you? Have you still been able to run shows for with Gladiator Promotions, or is the, you know, the
I've
gym and all that sort of thing?
a show. the February just before we locked down, like a total lockdown. So I was fortunate because, you know, it managed to make myself some money as well, you know, and see me through, like. But yeah, we've not done a show since last February now. It's been a year,
Right.
almost today, like. It's sad times. It's very sad, you know, because we need to get back at it, man. You know, everybody
Mm.
needs to get back at it. You know, that's the normality, isn't it? You know,
Yep.
I don't know what it's like in Australia for you guys.
Australia's pretty well under control. I'm from Melbourne. We just had a little short 5-day lockdown, but we were in lockdown for probably for the best part of 4 or 5 months last year. It was yeah, Melbourne went pretty hard, but we've pretty much eradicated all the COVID cases now. So we're
The
pretty lucky
vaccine,
now.
everybody's having the vaccine and taking that now. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's, you know, it seems like the rates are coming down. You just got to hope that we come out the other side better than what we did when we went in there. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's messed me up a bit. You know, like I say. So yeah, I was just hitting Bob yesterday. Like, you know, went for a run and stuff, and yeah, I've got a fire burning inside me, man. I don't know what's going on. You know, it's a weird times, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, hopefully,
It's
yeah, hopefully
very
things.
strange. You know, and maybe that's what I need. I need something to focus on. So
Yeah.
if somebody's out there and they want to offer me something that's going to entertain me, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm not. You know, I believe there's a second run, yeah, or a last run, should I say? You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah, that'd be
Sometimes
fun.
you
That'd be
might
fun
need
to
a
watch.
break from.
So what's that?
Sometimes you need a break.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not saying you're done with something just because you haven't done it for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's easy to assume that. Like when I look at your record and you hadn't fought since 2013, you'd think, oh, he's probably hung up the gloves. But yeah, now we know. Any prospective promoters out there?
You know, I don't have a manager, so it's only me that's going to get me off my arse and do it. Do you know what I mean? I manage myself through my career. You know, maybe I do it differently this time. Maybe I get a manager and stuff as well. Somebody that wants to nurture me and put me on the right path. You know, because sometimes being yourself, you don't say no to a fight. You know what I mean? And maybe that's where I went wrong. I should have had a manager saying to me, "Listen, that fight's not for you, mate." But then I wouldn't be the gladiator.
There's that. Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like I wouldn't have done the journey that I've done. I can't regret that journey because that journey's made me who I am today. A loss into loss, it's a learning lesson. I've taken something away from them losses because every time I got in that cage and I battled, somebody taught me something that nobody else can teach me. Do you see what I
It's
mean?
true. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, you can only teach yourself by going in there and getting in the mix of it and doing it and learning from them lessons and looking back at them lessons and thinking, yeah, I could have done that differently, or I could have done that differently, I should have done that, you know, or my mind wasn't there and that. And then when you know your mind wasn't there for them fights and you knew really that you shouldn't have been doing them fights and you're doing them for the wrong reasons, because when I got into martial arts, I did it as well. I started fighting to prove to myself that I could do this. Do you know what I mean? I forgot where I was going then.
That's all right. So would you maybe get in the cage for Gladiator Promotions? Is that out of the question?
You know what? I've thought about it many a times, you know, but same again, there's a lot of pressure on the nights of a show, you know, running a show. You know, can you leave it in somebody else's hands? Do you see what I mean? And let
Yeah,
somebody
for
else
too
do
many
it?
distractions.
And can you be sat there in the dressing room, really concentrating on that opponent? I've thought about it, and it's not really the wise thing to do.
Hmm.
Maybe back if I'd had Gladiator promotions back before 2009, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fighting
They've been
hours.
fighting every week.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, and I was in the mix. You
Yeah.
know, I was hungry. When I fought at the NAC and when I fought Ross Mason, and I was on fire then. You know what I mean? And that was before I had my operation, and I was out for 3 years. But then I come out of the game. I was at the top of the game then. I should have fought Che Mills for the cage rage world title. Mariusz Zaromski's fought Che for the title because me and Zaromski's fought, and then I fought Ross Mason. And then cage rage went bust. And when cage rage went bust, I had my operation done, which kept me out of the game for 3 years. And then obviously I came back in the game, and then I came back at the top. I fought Dean Amersinger. I think he was ranked in the top 5 at the time then in the UK. And I'd been out for 3 years. I'd done nothing, but came in and gave him a good fight. I had a good fight. It went the distance. I struggled as well. I think what's it, that fight? I'd had staph infection as well. And I was at AKA and I couldn't train. I had to come back to England. I couldn't train for that fight. I was hitting pads with a guy in Running Road for 8 weeks. I had an awesome camp out in America, and then I come down, and then I was ill, and I had to I wasn't allowed in the gym or anything, and all the antibiotics and that took it out of me as well. But yet again, I had bills to pay, I had a mortgage to pay. I couldn't not fight. You know what I mean? I couldn't say, "Oh, I'm not going to fight." I hadn't really done the right training camp. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. I had mortgage pay and things. Do you know what I mean? And I committed to a fight. I'd agreed to a fight with somebody. I'm not going back out of it. Do you know what I mean? So I had to come back to England. I trained in England for 8 weeks, but I had a mint camp out there. And I come back, I trained the year in my own gym. That's why I come back, because I knew in my own gym I'd just be able to hit pads with somebody and run roads. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I wouldn't be in contact with anybody, but I'd be able to just do things safely and get through my camp and get there. Do you know what I mean? And get these drugs out of my system. And I did. And I went the distance with that fight. And then after that fight, I felt a bit broken, actually. Do you know what I mean? Like it really broken me, that because I'd worked so hard for that, and then I'd got that infection, and then I had to still keep on with the fight because I had to pay my bills, and then I didn't get the outcome. I pushed hard in that fight as well. It was 15 minutes, and it just broke me then. I just felt like, fucking, what's the point? You know what I mean? You put all this effort in, you spend all this money, you do all this training, and it's like you don't get the outcome that you want. And okay, I was ill anyway. I hadn't got it. But what I'm trying to say is I hadn't had the best camp. But then my mind wasn't right after that. And then I fought again, and then I just kept losing, man. Kept ticking all the boxes, doing everything, but just coming up short, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it was just a case that, like, I'm fighting these top guys. I'm traveling around the world, which is all good, amazing experience, you know what I mean? But I'm just not coming up on top. Do you know what I mean? It's just breaking me, man, mentally. And most guys would have just given in after the first loss or the second loss. But I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. I keep trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still didn't come out on top. Do you know what I mean? But then, like I said, maybe that's because I was taking the wrong fights. You know what I mean? Because that just getting there, let's go. Whereas if I'd had somebody on my shoulder maybe saying, listen, business sense, this isn't right for you, mate, let's do this one, or,
Yeah.
but
Get a
then
couple of wins and
yeah, it's difficult one, mate. It's a difficult one, like I say. But I've got that experience to manage other people now. If they ever wanted me, when I get the right guy and he goes there, or I get the right opportunity now myself, hopefully I can call the shots right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's your mind's differently intact now. A lot older, a lot wiser. But the fight game in martial arts, yeah, it's given me a lot. It has given me a lot, and it's still giving me a lot today. My father just died. It's keeping me sane, man.
Absolutely.
So,
Sorry to hear that, by the way. Yeah, I didn't know. That's horrible.
He was 70, had a good life, But yeah, COVID sucks, mate, because obviously I didn't get to say goodbye to him. He was in Spain at the time, so I couldn't get there. I couldn't get out of the country. None of his family could get there. So he obviously he was lucky. My brother, my uncle, he's got a football club out there, so he was there. Fortunately for him to say goodbye to him and sort the funeral and that, and getting ready for the hospital when the paramedics came, because like COVID just messed him up, mate. That's what they were telling us. The COVID, he'd got COVID. They all come in suits and that and took him away. And he was all delirious and that. His kidneys packed in, his lungs packed in. And then within 4 days, he was dead, man. They were pointing him, turning him over so they can open the airways and stuff. But it's just confusing because, like, you think, well, there's just so much conspiracy and everything that's going on as well, isn't there? And you think, I don't know, you just don't know. COVID is just messed up, man.
Yeah, it's horrible.
You know.
So, what was the injury that put you out for 3 years? If we could just sort of back over that one.
Well, in the Mariusz Zaromski's fight, when I kicked him in the first, I think it was about the first 20 seconds, I kicked him with it. He's a southpaw. Obviously, I'm an orthodox, and I kicked him off the back leg with a powerful shot on the inside. He pivoted on his leg and just checked it with a block. And as I caught his kneecap, my ankle just shattered. Little did I know at the time, but I'm not going to give up at the time either, because that would have given me the cage rage title. That would have got me back in the UFC. I'd worked dead hard for, you know what I mean, training, got my physique right, did everything. I was sleeping in a tent, altitude training. The summit of Everest I worked up to, I was sponsored by the Altitude Centre in London, and I was sleeping in a tent I slept in a tent for like about 12 months in my bedroom, like my bed inside a tent, and sleeping at altitude. And then I was training. I was taking the generator to my gym, and I was training at the gym. I was in like unreal shape. You know what I mean? Mentally as well. Then physically, you can see when you go watch the fight. Against Zaromski's. It doesn't matter who you would have put in me there. I wouldn't have stopped till I'd won that fight. You know what I mean? And I did win that fight. You go watch it. You score it. He won by a technicality. I got caught there, and he went up there, right across there. You could see me skull. They give me, I think it was 60 stitches, like 3 layers, 20 on each layer. Like the middle layer by the skull, and then there's a middle layer, and then there's an outer layer. But like I say, at the time, I didn't know I'd shattered my ankle. You know what I mean? In the first minute, I knew I'd done something. And I still didn't know after that, because I went to the hospital, I got my face stitched up, and then we were sat there for like hours. I mean, literally, London hospital on a Saturday night. Busy, mate. You know what I mean? We'd been there from at night, and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning when we got let out. And he said, if you want to stay, get your ankle x-rayed, then you can do, but you'll have to wait till tomorrow. I was like, do you know what? Just can't go home. Travel back to Stoke, which is like a good 3 hours away. And then I just rested it up myself. Didn't manage to go to the hospital. I just rested it up, put in a bucket of water, bucket of ice, kept it elevated, and just rested it myself and thought, it'll get better itself, because that's all it's going to tell me to. And in the end, it went down. And then I got the Ross Mason fight. I trained for the Ross Mason fight. Because same again, I wanted that title. I needed to get back in the UFC, be the number 1 in the country, because Cage Rage was the biggest show then. But like I say, I trained all through that camp, beat Mason, and then I got the title shot against Che Mills. And then I trained through the Che Mills fight, all that, and I trained 2 camps. I still got a bad ankle. Yeah, I trained for Ross Mason, because I thought if I go get this ankle sorted now, because there's something wrong with it. I can feel the pain when I'm running. Yeah, for the Ross Mason fight. But I'm thinking maybe it's just a ligament, or it's still swollen inside. It's not really had a chance to heal deep inside my ankle. You know what I mean? The swelling's gone, but I'm still getting this pain. But I've got this fight now. I can't, I go to the hospital now and they tell me that there's something wrong with me. Then I'm going to be out 6 months, 12 months. No, just got to dig deep, man. Dig deep, get through the pain, running.
Yeah.
And it was more the running when I was on the road that was the pain. Or just dig deep, mate. Won the Mason fight, Chain Mills fight, come the title was there. It's mine. Trained through that fight, same pain. Then he backed out of that fight. He got ill, pulled out of the first one. But then I see him at the Ultimate Fighter season 9 trials in London with the belt. Obviously, that's why. Because, he obviously wanted to go as the champ. He didn't want to fight and risk losing the belt and go into the Ultimate Fighter trials is not, you know what I mean? And that's what I think anyway at the time. Maybe it wasn't, but that's what I thought. And then I seen him there as well, like I said, and said all right and everything. And then we rearranged the fight again, and it never happened. KJ's went bust. But he fought Zoromskis, beat Zoromskis, he elbowed Zoromskis, cut Zoromskis' eyelid. His eyelid was hanging off. That's how he got the title. But then, like I say, KJ's went bust. I lost me contracts and stuff, and then I got my ankle sorted. I went to the hospital. They x-rayed it, did an MRI scan on it, CT scan and stuff, all that business, and found that I'd shattered my ankle. Obviously, in that fight, there was fragments of my ankle just everywhere. Literally, I'm not lying, like the small splinters everywhere. And they'd said to me that basically what I'd been doing as I'd been running, the cartilage between my fibula and my ankle, where it sits in the joint and it moves like that, has basically just been going like there, like a cheese grater, on all my cartilage in between my fibula and my foot. So basically, they've had to take it all out, and in the end, they had to have 4 operations till it was right.
Wow.
So you can imagine the rehabilitation, training again, break. It was quite a long time off, and that, and and basically, I've got no cartilage in my ankle, between my ankle and my fibula now. It's just bone on bone. You know what I mean? They had to shape it, reshape it, and everything. And it'd be nice. It'd be nice. Like I see all these guys, getting the joints done, and I don't know, man. It's painful anyway, but there you go. It's part of life, and that's just part of the trade.
There you go.
But that's what happened there. With the uncle. Yeah.
Ah, cool. So, looking back, what would you say would be the highlight of your career so far?
The highlight of my career, well, winning the world title. When I won my world title, it meant some. People don't realize that I won a world title. That's another reason. I won a world title. It's a genuine world title as well. But the promotion's not there anymore, obviously. But there you go. I was a world champion. No one can ever take that away from me.
Which promotion was that? Admittedly, that one slipped to my research this morning. Which promotion was that?
UK Mixed Martial Arts Fighting Championships.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be it's on the top of my head. Hold on now. The Circus Tavern in Purfleet, Essex. It's where they have the darts and things like that. It's quite a reputable place. You know what I mean?
Right.
Quite a few people have had the title. Antonio Silva fought for it after. He had it after me, I think. You know what I mean? Bigfoot. Yeah, right. So he had that title as well. It was the heavyweight title I had as well. I took it off the Frenchman, Francis Cornhouse.
Yeah, right.
You know who he is? He fought in the UFC. Went on with a perfect record after he fought me. He didn't lose to fucking many guys after, about 18 guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that wins aged well.
Yeah, my first 7 fights. I know it's not a lot, but it is a lot. I was winning. You know, I was there. I was a world champion. You know, all my kickboxing fights, I never lost in any of my kickboxing bouts.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you know, I was a European Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, a British champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, you know, back in like 2004, you know, but like sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, don't you? You know, the fight game, it's just, you know, that's how it is. And people just look at the L's sometimes, you know, they're not the W's.
Yep.
You know, it's like the pride times, you know, nobody ever used to look at that. It was just like the freak against the fighter. And that's how it used to be. It used to be like ego against pride. You know what I mean? It was like who was going to come and bring it the most and bring the most style and just like come and fight and throw it all on the line. That's the era I come from. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, growing up watching Pride and stuff and the UFC early days, you know, that's how it was. Once it wasn't about the wins. It was about who was the most charismatic, who was the most showmanist, as well as bringing it and having a fight at the same time, you know?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, among your current projects, now you touched on this earlier, appears to be acting. Seems to be something that you've been dipping your toe in. Now, I actually watched your show reel this morning when I was doing my research, and I don't want to go too far, but you look a bit like Jason Statham, and you talk a little bit like Vinnie Jones. So you know, I can't see what's not to love there.
Yeah,
But
I just need to pick me up now, don't I? Just.
But how much does acting sort of figure in your future plans? Is it sort of something you want to get into full time, or is it something you're just sort of dabbling in on the side? Or
It's definitely a career that I'm working for. I've literally got a lesson after I finish with you at 12:30. I've got a Zoom lesson with my coach. You know, I'm hitting it every week. You know, I'm training and yeah, I enjoy it. It's good. Obviously, martial arts still my life. It'll always be my life. You know what I mean? Because that keeps me fit. It keeps me strong. It keeps me sane. That's me crutch without that. You know, and that's something else. You know, with that injury, not being able to run. You know, gradually I've been able to get back into me running and stuff, but not for competition where I'm running like 5 miles and stuff like that. Rocky mountains, so to speak. You know, it's quite flat. You know, bit early, but no, I'm not pushing it. I'm doing like 20 minutes, which is enough for me. You know what I mean? I'm not, you know, I can do that and without any pain. Do you know what I mean? So now I'm being able to do that. I'm ready. So if promoters out there get me, man, I'm ready. Trust me. You know, I've been working on my jiu-jitsu. I've been working on everything. I'm a different caliber of fighter, different mentality, different everything. I just need the motivation.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
There you go. So
yeah, the acting. Yeah, I'm really passionate about it, mate. Yeah, you know, I'm working with Rachel Shenton. She's an Oscar winner, so she's one of my coaches, and the lady that taught her is my coach. You know, so and I met Rachel Shenton through did a charity for Cordwell, like a charity electric wheelchair football. It was. I got invited to that, and I did that, and I bumped into her. And I just asked her, and I said, "Listen, you know, I want to get into acting, but I don't want to go down the wrong route and just go to a dead end." You know what I mean? And she put me onto her coach, and obviously I've had no big breaks yet because I'm still training and that, you know, and still trying to get out there, you know. But that's that game. That's something I found out about this game. It's a difficult game. People think it's, you know, easy. It's not. It's a difficult game as well because you've got to keep at it. You've got to try and get them auditions, and your face has got to fit the bill on it, I suppose. You know what I mean? It's getting that face out there, just like the MMA. You know, back when I was fighting at the beginning, there was no social media. You know, the internet had just come about. It was all magazines. You know what I mean? Magazine and phone number, you know, and trying to, you know, and just word of mouth on the circuits, people seeing who you are, seeing how you fought, you know, and hearing about you. Whereas now it's all social media, you know, social media is a lot more valuable, isn't it, you know, to these fighters nowadays, you know, because it gets them out there. It was just
Absolutely.
touching base on it then when I was in the Ultimate Fighter. You know, I'd just come out and there was my space, and basically could literally just touch down. I think nobody really knew what it was. You
Mm,
know,
absolutely.
I think what was the guy's name that Tom? You were
Yeah.
friends with Tom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, fighting's changed so much. You know, I think there's a lot more money in there now, and I think for the guys that are in the UFC now, it's a prime time for them, isn't it? You know,
Mm,
because what else is it? There isn't nothing else at the moment, sport wise, that's going on really.
yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's brought more mixed martial arts more to the front line a bit more to more people through lockdown.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's your situation now? You're still based in Stoke? Um,
I am at the moment, yeah, mate. Yeah,
yeah, looks
yeah.
like you might be a family man these days. The Gladiator might.
I've got two children.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got two children. I've got Missy, Missy Pointon. She's almost well, she's 18. She was 18 November just gone, and then I've got me youngest. She was 5 yesterday. Angel. She's my youngest. Yeah, she's my world at the moment. Like I say, she's the one that keeps me sane. She makes me a better person each day, and yeah, just try and strive to be a better person each day for her, and just try and make the world a better place for her, you know.
unreal. So I was actually listening to an interview with, I think it was Uriah Faber a little while back, and he said when a fighter has kids, when one of his fighters from Team Alpha Male has kids, it can go one of two ways. It'll either steal their determination to to fight and train and all that sort of thing, or it can soften them. Which category do you think you might fall under?
Say that again. Sorry.
Yeah, Uriah Faber was saying that when one of his fighters in his team at Team Alpha Male has kids, it either steals them, like it either makes them more determined to train and to fight,
Yeah.
or it softens them. It can go one of two ways. Which way do you think? Do you think you've gone?
Me. Um, it has softened me. Of course,
Yeah,
it's softened me. But yeah, it does change. Of course, kids change you definitely. I think as you get to your 40s, when you hit your 40s, that changes you.
yeah,
As much as people go, you sit there, and it does definitely change you when you get to your 40s. Becoming, each you become different. You become a different person again. You are constantly creating something on you. You're like a chameleon, aren't you? It's like a flower life. Oh, this is something, losing a parent. Like I've never lost a parent. I'm planning out for my mum that's going to be around still, but like losing a parent is weird. It's very strange. It changes perception of the world, definitely. You know,
absolutely.
it's a weird one, But like I say, I'm still dealing with this. You know what I mean? It's a weird one, very strange one.
Absolutely.
But it's
Yeah.
emotions that I need to enjoy at the same time because it's part of who I am and what's coming at me. And that's what I'm saying. You can't like gotta go with everything. What will be.
Yeah.
Can't
Definitely.
force things, you know. But then you have to make something happen at the same time because you can't just sit on your arse and expect everything come to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you want it to
Absolutely.
happen, you want to make it happen. And just by moving forward step by step, little steps, you know.
Absolutely. And before I let you go, we've sort of gone over this before, but have you got anything you'd like to promote? Anyone you want to shout out? And I'll let you get some plugs in before we wrap up.
Literally everybody that's ever passed cross my path, basically. You know, I thank you if you were bad to me, if you were good to me, you know, because you've created me today. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't be who I am without all these mishaps and, you know, fortunes. And do you know what I mean? Everything that's going on makes you your man. So you just have to try and enjoy it and deal with it, because it's not going to stay like this forever. Every day is different and every day changes. And yeah, we change like the seasons, don't we? You know what I mean? I'm going all fucking spiritual and shit now. Yeah,
That's good. I don't mind going down that road.
you know what I'm saying, you just
Absolutely.
got to try what you can do, man, and just try and be a better person each day, man, and
That's
just
it.
try and brighten up somebody's day, and it's as well,
Yeah,
you know.
definitely. It's important.
Yeah.
And it's,
But yeah, and yeah, thank you everybody that's ever helped me out, you know, to get to this point. I'm, you know, 43 years of age, and you know, I didn't think I'd make it this far. Quite surprised actually. I look back on the journey and think, wow, you know, what a ride I've had, you know. But I don't believe it's over. I don't believe it's over, you know, and I'm hungry. So if anybody wants me, I'm here. Come and get me. Check out my website, gladiatorpromotions.co.uk. Loads of fights on YouTube, the YouTube channel as well. If you want to watch some fights, all my shows are on there. Most of them, there's still some that have got to be uploaded on there from the past. But there's a YouTube channel. There's hundreds of fights on there from Gladiator Promotions UK. And yeah, check out the Facebook pages and stuff as well. And I've got my own Fight Gear page as well, G Fight Gear, gfightgear.com.
and Gladiator MMA gym in Stoke,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
assuming.
Yeah, of course, me gym.
Yeah, yeah.
Gladiatormma.co.uk. Yeah, check that out as well. Yeah.
Unreal. Got to get all those in there.
Well, obviously, you would have checked it out anyway, but maybe if you share this with me, I'll share this, and then other people can watch it, and then maybe they'll come to your site then as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to talk to me. I really appreciate it. It's been yeah, it's been a good chat.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, mate. Good luck with everything, man.